You're listening to Talk in the Night with your host, Paranormal Phil. And now, your host.
Thank you, and good evening, good morning, wherever you may be listening around the world or in the comfort of your own home. I am Paranormal Phil, and tonight for the 2 hours, we're going to have open lines where you, the listeners, can call in, share your stories, experiences, or questions about the. And it doesn't have to be about, I was about to say about the paranormal, but it doesn't have to be just about the paranormal. It could be about relationships. It could be about technology. It could be about UFOs, Bigfoot, uh, anything that you want to ask. If you don't want to call in, there is a little chat bubble for Spreaker. Pop in there, say hi, let me know you're listening, and watch, or not watching, but listening. We got Mike in the chat. Hey, Mike, thank you for tuning in. Like I said, there's a little chat bubble. Pop in, say hi. I'm going to real quick share this around, but while I'm doing it, I want to mention on the Spreaker, not Spreaker, on the Talk in the Night Facebook page, I have a event coming up on April 21st. And tickets will sell quickly for that. So if you want to go to this event, you want to get your tickets. Now, a little bit about this event. It is going to be from 6 o'clock at night till 2 in the morning. It is going to be 1 hour. The first hour, we're going to be on the air and doing Facebook Live with David Ullman at the Ullman House in Beverly Hills, one of the most haunted locations in Southern California, or as Barry Taft calls it, Disneyland for the dead. I have been there many times, and I am putting on this event. So, if you want to go to this event, be sure to get your tickets. Like I said, the first hour we're going to be doing a live interview, special broadcast of Talk in the Night, as well as a Facebook Live video where the people that purchase the tickets will get to ask David Ullman or myself any questions about the hauntings at the Ullman House. And you'll be on the air, so I will make sure that I do not. If you do not want to be a part of that part of the show or the event, you're welcome to step outside and everything like that. But I trust me, it's something that you would want to tune into. And for those that are there, I should say, you'll want to ask questions while you're there with David Ullman. Then, in the second hour of the event, is the meet and greet where you get to meet me, the host of Talk in the Night, as well as David Ullman himself. And then in the third hour, starting at 8 o'clock, sorry, I'm typing real quick. In the third hour of the event, till 2 a.m., from 8 o'clock to 8 p.m. to 2 a.m., is going to be a 6-hour ghost investigation where you get to investigate this home. Now, it is well worth the price for the tickets. Tickets are $105.05. Of course, I forgot to mention, during the meet and greet, snacks will be provided for those guests. Hello, Jennifer. So, like I said, the event will be going on on April 21st. You want to get your tickets because the tickets will sell out and only 30 spots are available for this special event. Now, David is not putting on this event. I am putting on this event. So, it's not on David, but on me. So, like I said, the tickets will go fast. I guarantee there are people that will want to go to this event. And tickets will sell out. Now, you might be saying, well, 105 is a little expensive. Well, actually, that's not that expensive for all that you get for this event. Beforehand, when David used to do tours, it was just the tours and the snacks. Now, I might be able to work out something with David Ullman where if you buy tickets for this event, you will get one of his t-shirts. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I'm going to work on seeing if we can sell out this tour, this event. I will work on getting David Ullman to give everybody a House at the End of the Drive t-shirt, and I am going to work on getting my Talk in the Night shop open, and I will purchase shirts for everybody that buys tickets to this event. No cost. I'll eat the cost on the t-shirts for Talk in the Night. So, if you want to go to this event, make sure we sell out this event. Because if we don't sell it out by mid-March, if I don't sell it out probably by mid-March, then I might cancel those. Well, no, I'll take that back. I'll wait till April 1st. April Fool's Day. No, just kidding. No, I'll wait till the first part of April to cancel if we do not sell out. But I'm pretty certain that this thing is going to sell out. So, it is a great deal. Like I said, the first hour, you'll get to meet and greet, or not meet, you'll be part of a live broadcast audience where you can ask me or David about the haunting at the Ullman House. I have been there over 100 times, and it never disappoints. Also, sorry, I lost train of thought. Also, the second hour, like I said, meet and greet with snacks. Get to meet me, the host of Talk in the Night, as well as David Ullman. And David is a great guy. You definitely want to meet him. Jennifer in the chat can tell you all about David. She has been there before, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jennifer. I think you have. But if not, like I said, is definitely worth it. Then from 8 o'clock till 2 a.m., a 6-hour ghost investigation. 6 hours of investigating. Ghost, I hate saying his name, Zach Baggins was supposed to be on a lockdown there when they filmed the Ghost Adventures Season 9, Episode 1, Episode 1 of Season 9 there. They were supposed to be there overnight, a 6-hour lockdown. They only stayed for 3, and he spent most of the night outside. So you get to investigate the home that Zach Baggins from Ghost Adventures ran from. Now, no, it's not bad spirits. the spirits just hate Zach Baggins. That's all it is to it. Um, so, yeah, like I said, 6 hours of an investigation at the Omen House. Now, the phone lines are open for this 2 hours. The numbers to call in are 951 223 5055 or by Skype at Paranormal Phil. Call in, share your stories, experiences, questions, anything you want, and I will answer. Even if it's about the Omen House. Like I said, I've been there well over 100 times. I lost count, so I'd just say over 100 times. I started going there in 2013, back before any tours were ever going on at the Omen House. And like I said, I've never had anything bad happen to me, and I'm certain you will not either. But like I said, you will not be disappointed by the activity in that home. Yeah, as Jennifer said, she spent the night along with her daughter. Zach couldn't even stay a few hours. And I stayed in the house next door, which is almost like night compared to David's house, which is like day. The feeling in the two houses are night and day. David's house is like a light party atmosphere, whereas the house next door, which he rented out, which he's not doing again because it costs a ton of money to rent, and I'm not going to rent it because I don't have that kind of money to rent it. But yeah, I spent the night in there. I didn't have nothing bad happen to me, and that house, like I said, is dark. Now, one thing I forgot to mention in the event, at midnight on that night of the investigation, we will do probably about an hour long seance where you, the guest that purchased the tickets, and now let me mention this event is by ticket purchase only. You do not buy a ticket, you do not get in. But the seance will go on at midnight, and when you purchase a ticket, that's part of the ticket price. And you will get to contact your loved ones that have passed on. So yeah, like I said, first hour long show with the question and answer Q&A session with David Oman, live on the air. Second hour, meet and greet with snacks. And the final 6 hours from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. a ghost investigation at, as Barry Taft calls it, the Disneyland for the dead. So it's definitely worth the ticket price, and like I said, it will sell out. Now, once again, the phone lines are open if you want to call into the show, share your stories, experiences, or questions. Once again, the call-in numbers are Paranormal Phil by Skype or by phone at 951-223-5055. And I'm just sharing this one other place. I forgot to share it. So let's get into some of the questions. If you have a question and you do not want to call in, pop in the chat. There is a little chat bubble if you're listening on Spreaker. Pop in the chat and ask your question or tell your story there. I will read it over there, and if it's a question, I will answer it. So let's get into a question here that says, I was watching Lore episode 6 called Unbox. The show is pretty good on Amazon Prime movie and blah 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 blah. Don't want to mention a non-sponsor. It says, I highly recommend those who have this membership to watch this episode. But it's basically about Robert the doll, the possessed doll. And just like Annabelle, the doll is not haunted, is not possessed. The doll belonged to a child at one time, and the spirit thinks that doll is still its own. That's why dolls can move. They're not moving by themselves. They're moving because the spirit is manipulating it. So they're not possessed by something dark or anything like that. Now, Jennifer had a question. Says, okay, stupid question. What does David do for a living now? I know he's a cook and did some other things. Jennifer, you're going to have to ask him that himself because I barely get a chance to talk to David as it is. So, yeah, I don't get a chance to talk to him as much, but I think he was living off the fame. But like I said, I couldn't tell you offhand, and I'm not going to say something that is untruthful. And you probably won't get an answer from David. I will mention that. You probably won't get that answer from David. Because David is a proud man. He's a good man, but he's a proud man, and he's not going to admit anything or say anything unless he wants to do it. But again, Robert the doll, Annabelle, they're not possessed. They belong to a child. The spirit is manipulating the thing. Now, a lot of it could be in people's minds about the bad stuff that happens. But I don't know. I've never actually been to see the dolls up close and personal. So I couldn't tell you. Once again, the phone lines are open. If you got a story, experience, or question that you want to ask, feel free to call in. Yes, you will, Jennifer. Now, sorry. Once again, the chat room is open on Spreaker. Check it out. And everything like that. Now, I'm going to click on this form site and answer some questions while I wait for calls. Well, see, Mike, Zach brings it on himself. He does. All the bad stuff that happens to him is because he's an ass to the spirits. I was trying not to cuss, but he's a jerk to the spirits. That's why he has a lot of stuff happen to him. Now, if you ever get a chance to investigate the Omen House, and after April 30th or April 21st for this event, and everything like that, there might not be another chance to investigate the Omen House. So again, that's another reason why to get your tickets now, because this one will sell out and no telling when there will be another. I can't tell you for certain if there will ever be another one. So this is definitely a once in a lifetime event, because I'm not going to do this event again. Even if I sell it out, I'm not going to do it again. Now, if I do have a huge response for it, I might add a second night, a Friday night. But it has to be a huge response for me to add a second night. But right now, it is only Saturday, April 21st, for this event. And like I said, if you do not get your tickets and they sell out, well, tough luck. Now let's go to another question. Like I said, I'm going off this one forum that asks paranormal questions. It says, but this person posted a picture. I guess it was supposed to be a girl takes a ghostly picture in a hotel. Now, what I'm seeing in the picture is light reflecting off of the windows. There's nothing paranormal about it. And I can tell you from somebody that can look at a picture and tell you exactly if there is activity there. I can tell you also from looking at the picture that it is just a reflection. Now, there are going to be people out there that think, oh, a light zooming through a picture, especially in daytime, oh, that's paranormal. No, it's not. It is just the glass causing the light. Now, again, I'm sorry, I thought I had a question there in the chat. Again, the chat is open if you want to ask your questions in the ask your questions in the chat. You're welcome to do that too. Just pop in. You don't even have to ask a question. Just pop into the chat and let me know you're listening. Say hi. Join the conversation. And I guarantee you it'll be a good time. Now, this next question on this forum is portal in bedroom need advice. And let's see, it says, a friend of mine moved into an apartment that has a lot of paranormal activity going on. He came to myself and another friend out of desperation. Various things were wandering through his bedroom, human-looking things, various degrees of transparent to appearing solid, orbs, strange glows, and other strange things would pass through. I came over to investigate and was shocked the instant I set foot in the bedroom. A huge energy buildup was evident around the edges of the ceiling. From this energy was flowing to and creating 7 portals or vortexes. Now, I'm going to stop right there for a second because, yes, the Omen House has several. I mean, it has a big portal, but it has a vortex, but it has several fissures throughout the thing. Now, a lot of people think, okay, mirrors are portals to the spirit world. And yes, they are, but not always. Uh, so yeah, there's been things that have gone on, and like he mentioned in that post, uh, about feeling that uneasiness, um, that energy buildup. I have felt that too at many locations, even the Omen House. Uh, and it's because when you step into a vortex for the spirit world, and you will know that you stepped into one, you will feel a difference in energy change. You will feel like you're underwater. Um, you'll definitely feel it. And yeah, it's a strange feeling. Now, if you're psychic or empath or anything like that, you will feel it even stronger. But I know somebody that has been, he's a photographer. I'll just mention his first name, Glenn. Not going to mention his last name, but he has gone to me with me to different locations inside the Omen House, and he's a believer in the paranormal, but he's not psychic by any means. And he could even feel the difference in the pressure. I mean, like I said, it was like stepping from open air right to underwater. That is how it feels. Now, um, everybody might have a different experience with it, but yeah, that is what I experienced. Now, we got 2 minutes. Let me finish reading a little more. Not even by my own choice, my body or spirit started throwing out energy beams too close to them. This I'm not going to read this. It's a whole long question, but and I just don't have time to read the whole thing because we got a break in 2 minutes. But if you do have a portal in your or vortex in your home, chances are sometimes you might have created it yourself. But a lot of times it's usually already there because, like the Omen House, sits on, is a big, or actually, I should say not just the Omen House, but the whole Benedict Canyon where the Omen House sits is a high geomagnetic field. So that whole canyon is prime for helping the spirits come through. Now, if you're in a location such as that, you will get that. And I'm talking from experience. Now, Mike, I know Mike cannot make it down to the tour because he doesn't have a car, but guess what? Anybody can make it here. We've had people come from the UK to the Omen House. Of course, they flew because they couldn't drive. But there are ways to get down here. You can fly and take like Uber or Lyft from the airport or the bus station and go right to the open house. Or, because I'll mention one person in particular, Richard. I'm not going to say his last name, but he comes down from San Jose. Either he flies or he takes a bus. I've seen him take a bus. Yeah, Jennifer, that was Richard. He lives in San Jose, not San Francisco, but close enough. But he took a bus from San Francisco just because he couldn't afford the plane ticket, which is fine, but he purchased the ticket. And he comes down from time to time for these tours, and he loves these tours. He can't get enough of them. Now, he doesn't come all the time, but he does come to these tours. Now, we are at the half of the show, so we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back with more questions and open lines and more of your questions, stories, or experiences right after this commercial break. We'll be right back.
Voices in my head, know me, call me, I will be restless, somehow they chose me, this is my nightlife, wanna be high life, I feel so reckless, calling them all night.
This Valentine's Day, get the ghost hunting love of your life something they will love from GhostStop.com. If you love to play board games together, well, Ghost Stop has Ghostbusters Monopoly for $39.95. Or how about a gadget holster for all their equipment, now on sale for $19.95. Click on the banner ad at the top of the Talk in the Night website and get shopping today. GhostStop.com, your one-stop shop for all your ghost hunting needs.
Do you have a paranormal team? Are you a small-time author? Do you have a radio show that you would like to promote? Is there anything that you would like to get the word out there about but don't have a big budget? Well, Talk in the Night has an opportunity for you to sponsor the show without breaking your wallet. Contact the show at talkinthetonight@outlook.com or on the show's website or Facebook page for more details.
Do you think you have a haunted or cursed object? Well, Nicole Gaspard does, and in her book Haunted Vessels and Cursed Objects, she talks about her continued paranormal and supernatural ghost encounters, haunted dolls, and other items that are supposed to be haunted or cursed. Pick up your copy today on Amazon.com.
Still as a breeze, a river flowing deep. Don't wanna leave the air you breathe. Living me dreams when I think of you and me. Don't wanna leave the world you see, and I will hold you down if love is still alive. It's unforgiving.
To call into the show, Skype Paranormal Phil, or by phone at 951-223-5055. And now back to more open line phone calls with your host, Paranormal Phil.
Okay, and we are back. The phone lines again are open. Numbers to call in are 951-223-5055 or by Skype by Skype Paranormal Phil. Now we got a call coming in. We're gonna answer this, and I don't screen my calls. Hello, you're on there with Talking Tonight and Paranormal Phil.
Well, Mr. Phil, Gary from Night Dream said just wanted to give
Gary.
you a call.
Hey, Gary, how you doing?
Doing good. I want to talk to you a little bit about the experience I had, which I talked about on my show one night, is that a place I worked at, I had a whole bunch of employees for years and years. All different employees would come up to me and say that they thought we had ghosts in the building. And these employees didn't know each other because it was over probably a 16-year, 17-year period.
Yeah.
And I never had an experience myself till one time actually two times. I went downstairs. It was in the basement. Now, this building originally was a hotel in the 1870s in Tacoma, Washington.
Okay.
Right from where the ships would come in, so you have sailors coming in. The basement of the building originally was a bar, speakeasy. The upstairs was a hotel brothel. And I did check into it. There were several people that were shot and killed in the bar over the years. And there was a couple prostitutes that were murdered in the hotel part in the 1880s, 1890s.
Okay.
So one day, myself, I was down there, and I was walking, and I smelled lilac. You know, it kind of got cold. I smelled something sweet. I didn't even know what lilac smelled like. And
a lot of people do smell things sometimes when a spirit is around because they're just trying to, that spirit's trying to let you know that they're there.
Yeah, but I walked a couple feet farther, the smell was gone. I backed up, then I could smell it. Then I thought, oh, wow, this is strange. The other experience I had, I went down there, maybe a week or two later, and I was walking. I was the only one downstairs. It was a huge downstairs. We're talking huge. And it had aisles and it, with merchandise, and it was poorly lit. And I was walking, and this is what gets me, is that somebody tapped me on the shoulder to the point that it hurt. It actually left a few little marks on my shoulder where they tapped me, because they tapped me with their fingers really hard. When I turned around, there was nothing there, nothing.
Yeah.
Now, what type of spirit would that type of be? That's why I'm trying to figure what type of spirit, because I know normally, when people see ghosts, they see shadows and ghosts like this. But this one actually, let me know by touching me, and it didn't touch me in a friendly way, not in a friendly way.
Well, a lot of people might call that like a poltergeist or something darker in nature, but what I'm getting is it wasn't dark. It was just like a prankster spirit. Like me, when I pass on, I'm going to be one of those type of prankster spirits. I'll be tapping people on the shoulder like, ha, you didn't see me.
Well, it's scary, I'll tell you that.
But, at the Omen House, we've had multiple people as they're going down the spiral staircase down to the lower level. On the steps, we've had people lightly pushed to where they, not pushed like off the stairs, but pushed to where they kind of lose their balance a little bit. And and there is we call him the aggressor there, just because he doesn't like the other spirits to communicate with, like myself or our psychic medium that we also bring in and everything like that. And there are other spirits that people bring in from these tours that might be like these prankster spirits. Nothing bad about them. They just want to let you know that they're there. And sometimes they might get a little aggressive on letting you know that they're there. Now, also... But go ahead.
Oh, I was saying, then there was other times I'd be there late at night in my office, which was on the main level. And it'd be late at night, like 11 or 12 o'clock. I'd be working, and I was the only one there. I double locked the inside of the door, so I know nobody could have came in when it was dead bolted from the inside. And I would be in my office, and I would hear footsteps going upstairs, because it used to be a hotel, back, I think, up to the 30s or 40s, and then that's when it was converted to, retail area. I heard people walking up the stairs, which I ran out there quickly because I thought somehow maybe the owners got in there and were coming there late at night. There was nobody there, and it wasn't once or twice. It was a couple times, and I remember one time it sounded like 3 or 4 people walking up the stairs. And it was a big flight of stairs. It was, like I said, it was a hotel originally. Yeah. And I even heard muffled voices, men and women, but there was nobody there.
Yeah, well, there are times, and I'm going to use the Omen House because I've been there, like I said at the start of the show, over 100 times. We've had times where people have gone into one of the restrooms in the guest bedroom and were locked in the bathroom, and the lock is on the inside of the bathroom, and they could not open it. So the spirits there are playful spirits that do love to play pranks like that, and I believe what I'm getting from the spirit world right now is that this spirit didn't die because of gunfire in the hotel. But he was, I want to say, a little, not mean, but kind of a jerk to the prostitutes. But, okay, now he wasn't shot. He was poisoned. That's what I'm getting from the spirits. And he was poisoned by possibly one of the prostitutes.
Yeah, because there were several murders, again, like a couple of men got killed in the bar, and like I said, there was a couple of prostitutes, and I guess there was a couple other killings that transpired, because, that was the seedy part of downtown Tacoma. It was not near the waterfront, so, where the ships would come in. But, I will say this, Phil, after I did my show, I was down Tacoma, which is about 30 miles from where I live. And the building, when I worked there, used to be a camera business. No longer there. It closed up, I think, 2003. But I stopped by there just for a minute, and now it's a major insurance company. It has it because it's like 5 stories tall left of it. They did remove some of the stories of it. And I went in there and I talked to the receptionist. I said, "Hey, I used to work in here for like almost 17 years. Has anything strange happened?" I didn't mention ghosts. I didn't mention, spirit. And she goes, "Yeah, when people have been working here late at night, they have heard strange noises, strange things happening, things moving, this strange stuff." And that kind of goes all the way back when I was there. And like I said, in that period of time, I went through a lot of employees. They would come and go. And, I had a couple of them. Like one guy was a Navy SEAL, ex-Navy SEAL. I had an ex-Ranger. I had a guy who was a chief bosun mate on a submarine. All people that were, I wouldn't think they would lie, people. Yeah. And all of them, they said, for years it was going on. I didn't want to believe it. I was negative on it till it happened to me. And, going into the place this past week and talking to the receptionist, and she's saying the same thing had happened. It tells me that they have to be spirits, something is going on. And, it's scary. When something can touch you, though, and leave bruise marks when they're not there, that's the part I don't understand. Because, I've been in paranormal for a long time. Yeah. But, I never believed a spirit could actually physically do something where you could feel it and feel hurt,
and they can. And a lot of people say something like that is just, I hate using the word demon because I don't believe in demons. I don't believe in the devil just because of my faith. But everybody their own religious beliefs. But somebody might say that that was a demon or something like that, and I don't think that was the case.
Well, see,
Like I said,
Phil,
go ahead.
what? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I always thought like ghosts and stuff. I always had the idea, and my philosophy, it was like an endless loop. They are stuck here, and their spirit is like reliving the past over and over again. But then, if their spirit is living it over and over again, then how would they know when I walk by or you walk by? They knew I was there.
Oh yeah.
And that's what I mean. Are they in a different dimension or what? That's what I don't understand, and that's what I'm trying to contemplate in my mind. And the only reason I bring it up is because I talked about it on my show this week, and then I started thinking about really what I went through. Is I think about it and I go, hey, it's wonderful it happened, but I'm just trying to figure out how. I mean, the physical part, that's the part I don't understand.
Yeah, well,
Well,
what I believe is, and it's probably closer to the truth than anybody has ever gotten. And of course, later on, I think in March, I have somebody that talks with the spirits that can tell people what it's like on the other side because they communicate and tell her what it's like on the other side. Now, how much of that is true, I don't know because I've never really asked the spirits what the other side's like. But what I believe is it's a higher plane of existence and a lower plane of existence. The higher plane is we strive in our daily lives to have our souls reach that higher plane of existence, that top tier heaven, if you want to call it. But the lower plane is not hell, and we're not. There is no such thing as like angel. I hate to say it, but there's no clouds with angels up there because, I mean, look at California here, nice and sunny, no clouds. They're not going to be up there.
yeah.
And of course, the Catholic Church, I heard, created hell just to scare the heck out of people. But yeah, it's just a higher plane of existence. They're still here on Earth. Now, there's two different types of hauntings. There is the residual and the intelligent haunting. Residual, and I mentioned this on my show before, it's like putting a VCR, for those that are old enough to remember VCRs, putting the tape in, playing it, rewinding it, and watching it over again. That's all it is. It's just an imprint.
Yeah.
And it's you cannot communicate with the spirits. They cannot touch you. They will not touch you or anything like that. Whereas the intelligent hauntings, they can interact with you. They can, because I've seen many times where at the Omen House they've pushed over objects, and the spirits. It takes a lot of energy to push an object, especially one to cause bruises. But like I said, this what I was getting from the spirits was this one is he was pretty much a jerk to the prostitutes, and he was poisoned. Now, you might want to look into, see if there was any deaths by poison in that hotel back then.
I never thought about that. Yeah.
But that's what I'm getting from the spirits.
Okay.
But they
well, thank you. I just gives me more to think about.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for the call, Gary.
Okay, you take care.
All right. So, like I said, I've been in this field a long time. Gary's been in the field for 40 years. But since I am a hyper empath, I can see and communicate with the spirits. I'm just able to answer a little more than somebody that's been in the field a long time. As my guest on Wednesday night, Miss M, said, I am highly psychic. And I didn't tell her about me seeing spirits or communicate with spirits, but when she called me before the show, because I always have my guests call 15 minutes prior to the show, and the first thing she mentioned to me was I was highly psychic. She did not know me. I didn't mention anything about it, but she mentioned I was highly psychic. And of course, she mentioned it in the show, during the show. So, I will not do readings live on the air because it can be a hassle. But if a spirit happens to come, if you ask a question, you want an answer to it, and the spirits come through to let me know an answer to your question, I will gladly communicate with the spirits to give that answer. But as far as a personal reading, I will not do on the air. Just so you know. Now, going back to the forum, I had a question there that I saw on animal ghost. And why are the animals less seen than human spirits? And it's because if we can, or if you might happen to see a spirit, what are you doing? You're looking straight ahead or looking around at eye level. You're not looking down on the ground. And usually they're going to be right there by your feet and appearing there. Because the animal might want to come up, even in spirit form, and actually want to be petted. So you're not looking down when you're going through a haunted location that might have had an animal die or something like that. You're looking straight ahead or around at eye level. You're not looking down. So that's probably why most people don't notice spirit animals. Now, I will bring up a thing that happened to me up in Northern California, just south of Eureka. And I think I mentioned it on the show before. I worked up there in Northern California for a small town called Fortuna. And it was probably a good couple miles to town from where I was living and working. And I always had to pass by this old farmhouse, abandoned farmhouse. Well, this happened to be in the day when I saw this. And I'm walking by this farmhouse into town because it was getting time for it to get nightfall, and I was headed to the bar. Of course, I was too young to get into the bar, but I was able to get in there. But that's another story for another time. And I walked past this farmhouse several times. Never noticed this before. But there was just this farmhouse and a bunch of open land. Well, this one time that I walked by there, I saw cattle, sheep, and pigs and stuff like that in the front yard of this abandoned farmhouse. Now, my first thought was, okay, these animals got out from a neighboring property and just happened to be congregating in front of that house. And they looked as real as me and you. So I want to mention that because that's why I thought, okay, they're not spirits. Because I didn't think about it at the time. And this is what got me into the paranormal 25 years ago. Just so I mentioned that. And something told me as soon as I got probably about 10 feet past them, turn around and look. Now, again, there was no place for them to go. The house was boarded up. There was maybe one board loose where a person could get in there, but animals, no. And there was no place for them to run. It was a big open field besides that house sitting right there on the edge of the road. So, like I said, something told me, turn around, look. Turn around, they're gone. Now, those animals are not going to move that fast. And of course, there was no place for them to hide. There's no way they would have got around to the back side of the house in that 10 feet. I turn around, I look, they're gone. I was like, okay, that was weird. Maybe I'm seeing things. So I just continued to walk on to the bar for that night. Come back that night, talked to some of the people that I worked with, and they mentioned that people that had been there longer than I had, they mentioned that that farmhouse had been abandoned. And little disclaimer here. If you go out and investigate a location, do not trespass on any location without permission. Just because I did it doesn't mean you should. And I never did it after that. But I went on to this property with a few other guys, and we went inside this house. Like I said, there was one spot where a person could get in, but not animals. And turns out this old farmhouse used to be a slaughterhouse for animals. All the tools were hanging from the roof. And it was probably, it looked like a house on the outside, but the inside looked like a barn. Almost. With all the stuff hanging from the rafters, the tools to slaughter animals and everything like that. Well, we went in there at night, trespassing. Like I said, don't do it unless you have permission from the property owner to go into a location. But I was young, stupid, and did it anyways. But we went in there with a Ouija board, and we were there to communicate with the spirits. Now, I didn't use the Ouija board. My friends that went in there did. But being an empath and psychic, something latched onto me. And it took a while to get rid of, because they put the wrong intent into using the board. But again, another story for another time. And we were able to, while we were in there, see the same spirits, animals that I saw like a day or two earlier. I can't remember exactly how long ago it was from the time we went in there to the time that I saw them. But the same animals that I had saw, but they were more see-through. And I also was able to see the spirit of the guy that killed the animals. And he was slaughtering the spirit animals. Now, that was probably more, as I mentioned with Gary on the phone, that was probably more of a residual haunting, just the playback. But we saw that, and of course I didn't see the stuff hanging from the rafters really until I happened to look up after that, seeing that spirit. And I looked up and I was like, no, we gotta get out of here, because if any of those tools fall, we're dead and we're gonna be haunting this property. So, spirit animals, like I said, a lot of times like cats, dogs, when they pass away, if you sense like there's spirits around, try looking down, because the spirit might be down by your feet wanting to be petted. But a lot of times we're not noticing animal spirits because we're looking straight ahead at eye level and we're not noticing them. But they're around just as much as human spirits. Now our body is just a vessel, so once we pass on from this life, we go on to either that higher plane of existence or lower plane, or whatever you want to believe, heaven or hell. Whatever your belief system is, that's where you're going to go. And sorry, I got spirits trying to talk to me. But that's where you're going to go and everything like that. I'll leave it at that because I lost my train of thought. I had a thought and it hit me, squirrel. I use that every time I get distracted. So we are at the commercial break. We'll be right back after this short commercial break with more of your phone calls and questions, stories, and experiences.
My head is heavy, let me lay it down. Into your lap I would love to drown. I need that story I used to hear, to run on and to end disappear. I won't lie down and I won't, I won't lie down, and I can't do this without you. I won't lie down and I won't, I won't lie down, and I can't do this without you. Your stories, they come from the heart. Glue me together and tear me apart.
If you like old-time talk shows, then you must tune in to Night Dreams Talk Radio. UFOs to Bigfoot, did we say black-eyed children? You'll find Night Dreams Talk Radio on TuneIn, iHeart, iTunes, and all the major apps. But on TuneIn, they're live 7 to 9 p.m. West Coast time starting in February. With all the major guests, Night Dreams. Do you have an interest in the paranormal? Well, tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Pacific on the Talk in the Night Facebook page for Ask Paranormal Phil. The show is a Facebook Live show where he gets into different topics about the paranormal and answers your questions. That's Ask Paranormal Phil every Tuesday night, only on the Talk in the Night Facebook page.
Do you have a talk radio, Facebook Live, or YouTube show and would like guests for your show but don't know where to go to get them? Well, go to radioguestlist.com and sign up today. They have all different experts in different fields, and you can find the ones that are just right for your show. That's radioguestlist.com. Sign up today. It's free.
Used to be so happy, but without you here, I feel so low. I watch you as you left, but I can never seem to let you go. Cause once upon a time, you were my everything. It's clear to see that time hasn't changed a thing. It's very deep inside me, but I feel there's something you should know. I will never forget you.
To call into the show, Skype Paranormal Phil, or by phone at 951-223-5055. And now back to more open line phone calls with your host, Paranormal Phil.
Okay, and we are back. We're into the last hour of the show, and the phone lines, as you heard, are open. The numbers to call in are 951-223-5055. or by Skype at Paranormal Phil. Now, don't be shy. Call in. Share your stories, experiences, and questions. Now, Mike in the chat here says, and you can pop in the chat on Spreaker and ask a question there too. Mike says, I remember I was in a dead sleep with my puppy. He started to bark, looked up by the fan, and saw a portal, saw something come through. Now, the portal does not always have to be on a ceiling. It doesn't always have to be in the mirror. It doesn't have to even be in a house. The Omen House has multiple vortexes outside of the home. It's just a matter of where that fissure or that vortex or portal, whatever you want to call it, opens up. And it also... Okay, see, now, again, I'm getting questions from the spirits, or answers from the spirits, I should say, not questions, but answers from the spirits to questions. And they're saying, Mike, you perceived it almost like a entranceway to heaven. Is something that came through, but it was there. Okay, once again, if I get quiet like that, it's because I'm trying to listen to the spirits, so I don't want to talk while they're talking because it's hard to hear them. But yeah, they're saying you were perceiving it as a gateway to heaven. But that spirit coming through was just somebody, a loved one that had passed, that was coming to let you know they're watching over you. Again, I will not do readings because it is too much of a hassle, but I will, when you have a question and I need extra help, I'll call on my spirit guides or the spirits to help me answer the questions. Now, Jennifer asks, how can I tell if my mom heard what I said to her on her deathbed? I feel like I know she did, but I don't know if I'm just hoping she did. Again, let me see what the spirits say, because I will not do a personal reading live on the air. And I can guarantee you, not all the time the spirits are going to come through that you want to come through. That has happened at the Omen House when we do seances. The spirits sometimes do not come through for you when you want them to. And I've said it many times, and I'll say it again, no psychic is ever going to be 100% right. If we were, I would have won the lotto a million times. So, yeah, I'm being told she did here. Now, the answer I'm getting is from a male figure. But the male spirit says she did hear you. So, I mean, like I said, personal readings I'm not going to do, but like the short answer like that to a question, if the spirits do come through, I will give that short answer. Now, I want to bring up another thing that happened to me before while at a location that actually was a home that we had investigated, and my friend Steve called in John Zaffis from Haunted Collectors to come and check out this place. Well, while we were doing the location, it was in Glendora. I was doing the cleansing of the home because there was one spot that had that darker energy. And I got, okay, I thought I had a spirit off to my left. Turns out it was just my watch reflecting the light. I just caught it off the side of the out of the corner of my eye, so I just had to check. Again, I believe wholeheartedly in the paranormal, but I tend to look for the terrestrial explanation first before I call it paranormal. But getting back to the story, we were in this house. I was doing my cleansing thing, and I don't know if any of you, the listeners, have ever had this happen, but it is definitely a weird feeling when it does happen. And there was two of us doing the cleansing in this home. Well, this thing ran from the other person that was doing one side of the room, and I was doing the other side, and we were working our way towards the middle. And I had this cold chill run right through me. I got a spirit on my right hand side. I know because not only because I can hear them, but I got that cold feeling right on my right arm with the hair standing up on my arms. So I know they're there. I'm just not going to answer or try to communicate with anybody to do any personal readings. But like I said, I don't know if anybody's ever experienced this, where a spirit has walked right through you, or even this case, this spirit ran right through me. And it was a quick, cold breeze, but it hit me. I was like, whoa, that felt weird. So yeah, I don't know if anybody's ever experienced that, but I have. So let's get into some more questions. Like I said, the phone lines are open. Numbers to call in are 951-223-5055 or by Skype at Paranormal Phil. Don't be afraid to call in. I promise you I do not bite. And I am very professional on answering the questions to my best ability. Like I said, they do not have to be questions about the paranormal. I do have experience in other fields, like relationships. I've been through a ton of them to give people answers. So I can answer relationship questions. And if I can't, I'll let you know, but I'll do my best that I can. Now, another question here. Why do, and it's probably directed towards skeptics, why do skeptics question people's paranormal experiences? Because, and especially if they're a diehard skeptic, if they're a skeptic like me that believes in, I believe in the paranormal, but I have a skeptic side to me because I want to make sure that it is spiritual activity before I say it's paranormal. But the diehard skeptics, the one I cannot think of his name for the life of me, but the one that always offers money to people to prove psychic or ghostly experiences or paranormal experiences. People like that, you're never going to be able to satisfy their thing. I mean, people like that, if Bigfoot showed up right in front of them, they're still not going to believe. They're going to be like, it's a guy in a costume. A spirit pops up in front of him. They're not going to believe it. They're going to be like smoke and mirrors. And it's because these people have that ability, which I'm going to mention real quick before I get into the rest of this answer for this question, is I did a vlog on the Talk in the Night website, talkinthenight.weebly.com, under the blog and vlog page. I did a blog on how to see and communicate with spirits. Now, if you can do it already, that's good. But are you doing it right? That's the question. But I mentioned how I was able to see and communicate with spirits and how I was able to hone my abilities to be even stronger to see the spirits. So getting back to the answer to the question, why do people question, especially skeptics, question those that believe that or they had paranormal experiences? It's because that ability is pushed so far back in the deepest recesses of their subconscious that they're not focused on what's around them. They're focused on the everyday life, but they're not focused on what might be there. Let's put it that way. And like I said, no matter how much you try to prove them wrong by even having like a spirit show up or Bigfoot or a UFO, they are gonna be like, it's smoke and mirrors, it's a man in a costume, it's attached by strings. Yeah, you're never gonna be able to prove that prove that to them, and it's a waste of time to try and prove it to them. Now, if they're like me, I'm not going to believe you right off the bat, but I'm going to investigate it. I'm going to check it out. And like I said, I will look for the terrestrial explanation before I say it's paranormal. And there are people like me, or even people that believe there is something there, but they're not certain. They're very uncertain, but they're willing to believe. Those type of skeptics, they are somewhat open to believing. Whereas, like I said, the person that offers a lot of money for you to prove psychic ability or paranormal experiences, let's get into that, like proving psychic abilities. Like I said, no psychic, medium, clairvoyant, clairaudience, mediums, empaths, we're never going to be 100% right. There are some bad ones that you can tell right off the bat they're not real. But for people like me, that I have proven myself that I can see and communicate with the spirits, again, I will never ever be 100% right. Because if I was, like I said, I would have won the lotto 1,000,000 times or 1,000,000,000 times, whatever. I would have won it every time. or other psychics would have won it all the time. Heck, we might have all split it at one time. But we're never ever going to be 100% right. We're going to be like 99.8% right. Now, some people might not even have that much of a percentage rate on being right, but yeah, we're never going to be 100% right. So, and like I mentioned earlier, not all the time are the spirits that you want to connect with are going to come through. It might be somebody else that comes through that you weren't expecting. When, like, I had done readings before, and somebody wanted to connect with their mom. I'm not talking about anybody here in the chat. I'm talking about a friend of mine outside of the show. I met with her at a mall, outside a mall, of course, not inside because there was too many spirits following other people around. I didn't want to deal with all them. But I was outside the mall and doing the reading for her. Well, she wanted her mom to come through. Well, a male figure came through that she wasn't expecting. So they don't always come through when you want them to. Now, like Mike said in the chat here, some just do it for the money. Now, when I do readings, I could charge money if I wanted to. But the reason why I do not charge money for readings is because people can say, I just did it for the money. I faked it all. Or something like that. And I do not care for that. So, the same thing with doing investigations. When I had the team before I retired, we did an investigation at a private home. Person tried to offer us $200. Well, we turned it down. Because that person could easily came back and said we did it for the money. Well, what we did is we told the lady, we can't accept this. We do this because we're here to help, not do it for money. And the paranormal field is a very expensive hobby. Hey Vince, thank you for tuning into the show. It's a very expensive hobby. I will mention that. So if you want to get into the field, be aware that it is very expensive. Not only for travel, but also the equipment. But we told this person, donate it to the Children's Hospital in our team's name. Because we could not accept the money. And that's what we had this person do. Whether that person did it or not, I don't know. But, like I said, doing investigations, doing readings, I don't charge money because, like, again, people can say I did it for the money. And I'm not doing it for the money. Now, I do accept money when I'm doing tours or like this event coming up April 21st. For those that might be tuning in late to the show, I want to mention it again. If you go to Talk of the Night on Facebook, there's an event for the Omen House. It's a meet and greet ghost investigation tour. And what you get for this tour is the first hour, we're going to do a special live broadcast for 1 hour Q&A session with David Omen himself. The people there, they're buying the tickets, will be able to ask David questions live on the air. That night I will not take calls. I will mention that. But if you want to pop in the chat and say hi or ask a question of David, you can do that. We'll also be doing a Facebook Live also of the show. I'm going to have somebody else do that, so they can pan over to the guests that show up for the tour. Now, this event is by ticket purchase only. If you do not buy a ticket, you cannot get into the event. Simple as that. But it's well worth the money. And if you don't get your tickets soon, the tickets will sell out real quick. It's only open to 30 people. That's it. No more than 30. So get your tickets now for that event. But again, the first hour Q&A session live on the air on Facebook Live for the show. Then the second hour, a meet and greet with me, the host of Talking Tonight, and David Oman. And then from 8 p.m. to, just checking Facebook here. Then from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m., a 6-hour ghost investigation. Now, we might extend it to 3, but don't quote me on that. But for now, it's going to be 6 to 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. for the ghost investigation part of this event, which you get to investigate the home that Zach Baggins from Ghost Adventures ran away from. So, like I said, get your tickets today, because once they're gone, they're gone. And you still got plenty of time. The event won't go on until April 21st. So, if you're getting a tax refund back, use $105 for that to purchase the ticket. And like I said, it's well worth it, because during the meet and greet, snacks will be provided. And everything like that. So I just wanted to mention that. Now we're going to be coming up on the half, like I said, the phone lines, the bottom half of the second hour. If you got a question, story, or experience, it doesn't have to be about the paranormal. It can be about anything. Pop in the chat, say hi, ask the question, tell your stories, experience, or if you want to call into the show, 951-223-5055, or by Skype at Paranormal Phil. There you go, Jennifer. Tax refund. Use it to come out to the event on April 21st. I'm really pushing this event because normally David puts on the events, but this event I am putting on, because I already talked with David. He okayed it if I can get 30 people to show up. So let's make this happen, because I want to meet my listeners face to face. I would love to do that, and I'm sure you would love to meet David Oman. If you've never met him, you definitely want to meet this man. He's a great guy, great friend, and yes, he can be eccentric at times, but he's a good guy. So be sure to purchase tickets for this event. Again, there's a link on the event page where you can purchase the tickets for the event. It's Eventbrite. Let me see if I can get, before we go into the commercial break, let me see if I can get the link here for it, so I can let you know where to go to get the tickets. I know it's Eventbrite, but I'm going to try and get a more specific location for you on the ticket. So give me a second here while I scroll down to the event. And now the name of the event is Talk in the Night Meet and Greet at the Omen House. Tickets for this, and I should mention I'm going to it because I have to be there. I'm the one putting it on. Okay, I know the ticket. You can click on the where it says click get tickets, and you can purchase the ticket through the event page and everything like that. It's Eventbrite, but all you have to do is click on the event and purchase your tickets. So like I said, with tax, the reason why I'm doing it April 21st is because people are going to get their tax refunds, and of course you can always spend $105 for the ticket to come to this event. So we are at the bottom, the last half of the show. We're going to go into this last commercial break. We'll be right back with more of your phone calls, open line phone calls, and your questions, stories, and experiences. We'll be right back.
I can see you from behind. You can hear me in your mind. Run so fast as you can go. Time will catch you before you know.
Do you want to know how to attract love, money, jobs, success? Well, check out livelifemadeToorder.com. If you go to the products page and mention Talk in the Night, you will get 50% off of your order. That's livelifemadeToorder.com. Be sure to check out the show's website at talkinthenight.weebly.com for some great content such as Story of the Day, This Day in History, and much more. Also, if you missed the show, check out the show's archive page under the radio show tab where you can find all the shows listed. And be sure to sign up for the Talk in the Night newsletter. Would you like to take part in a special live broadcast of Talk in the Night, a meet and greet with me and David Oman, and how about a 6-hour ghost investigation at the Oman House, which has been featured on paranormal TV shows such as Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters, Paranormal Witness, Haunted History, and My Ghost Story? Well, go to Talk in the Night on Facebook and click on the event and get your ticket today before they sell out.
To call into the show, Skype Paranormal Phil, or by phone at 223-5055. And now back to more open line phone calls with your host, Paranormal Phil.
Okay, and we are into the last half of the show. Half hour of the show, I should say. And we do have the phone lines open. Don't be afraid to call in. I promise you I will not be rude to you. All I ask is you're not rude to me. And everything like that. But if you want to call in, even if you're a skeptic, if you want to call in and say you don't believe this, call in. I'm not going to bite your head off. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong or anything like that, because like I said, everybody has their own belief system, what they want to believe and everything like that. I'm not here to change that. But I will answer it. I will tell you what I think. I will give you my opinion, but I'm not going to try to change your mind. So if you're a skeptic, feel free to call in. And like I said, the stories, experiences, questions, they do not have to be about the paranormal. I just happen to have a lot of experience in the paranormal field where I can answer a lot of questions from that topic. So the call-in numbers, sorry, you got the hiccups going on. So the call-in numbers are by Skype at Paranormal Phil or by phone at 951-223-5055. Phone lines are open. Be sure to call in. Also, if you're listening on Spreaker, there is a little chat bubble on the player. Click on that and it'll pop into the chat. Pop in, say hi, let me know you're listening, everything like that. Tell me what you think. Even call in or pop in the chat and tell me what you think of the show. I love to hear. And if you want to leave a review for the show on the Talking Tonight Facebook page, you can leave a review on the show, what you think of the show. I love hearing from the listeners to find out what they think of the show. And of course, in the last 10 minutes, I'll mention what we got coming up for next week on the show. Now, another question I got was, caught a voice in a graveyard on my phone. Now, I'm going to mention this again, like with the trespassing of a building and everything like that. Do not do it. And there are people that have made it bad for investigators to go to cemeteries, especially at night, because there are people that think, oh, it's all fun and games, we'll destroy tombstones, old tombstones, and stuff like that. So a lot of cemeteries nowadays are locked behind a gate, and you cannot get in there at night unless you get permission from the cemetery itself to go there. So that way they know who went in there. But that gives a lot of bad reputation to those that are in the field to understand what's going on. The ones that want to get answers. Now, I've mentioned it many times before. Again, I'll mention it again. Graveyards, the spirits are not going to hang around there as much as you think they would. Because, let's put it this way. Would you want to hang out where your dead body is? No, I don't think you would. You'll want to be by loved ones. You'll want to be by somebody that you know, or a place that makes you happy. So don't go into a location by trespassing, destroying the property, whether it be a cemetery or an abandoned house or something like that, because then it makes us look bad. Now, there was a story a few years back where a couple of, I think it was a couple of people that thought they were real ghost hunters, and they trespassed on the location. Well, some of them got arrested, and I'm trying to remember if this is correct. Don't quote me on this because I can't remember the story, but I know they got arrested, but I believe possibly one person got shot and killed because they were trespassing. And it's not worth your life. You don't want to become on the other side of the spirit world because you did something stupid. So, again, do not trespass on a location. Now, if you go into the cemetery during the day and you happen to catch something on a digital recorder or your phone if you're recording, that's okay because you're there during the day, you're visiting. But if you're doing it to destroy property and stuff like that, don't do it. And definitely don't do it at night because nobody knows what you're doing there. There have been times that I've investigated a cemetery, a very old cemetery here in Southern California, in Riverside, California. It goes back to the early or late 1800s. Civil War soldiers are buried in there. But it's like 1890 or early 1900s, like not 1910s, but 1900s, in that time frame. And I've been there. I didn't go into the old part because, of course, they had it fenced off, and we didn't have permission to go there. But we stood outside on the street on public property, and we did everything legally. We didn't trespass. We didn't jump over the fence or anything. We took pictures, video recording from out by the street of the cemetery. And I had set my camera down, another experience of mine. I had set a camera down, a digital camera on the fence. And because somebody called me over because they had a better camera than I did, and they wanted me to look at something that they had snapped a photo of. Well, I was doing video. They were taking pictures. So I walked probably, I want to say about 20, 25 feet away from my camera on the fence over to the other person to see what they were talking about. I come back to my camera. I let it roll for about another 2 minutes, and then I stopped it. And a lot of times when I do an investigation, I'll record maybe 5 minutes at a time, because if you try to record video or audio for hours at times, you're going to spend a lot of time going over that over and over and over again. So do it in small increments, 5 to 10 minutes. Well, I did that. I played back the video. And of course, this fence was never touched by anybody. It was only 3 of us. And it was late at night. No cars going by. The ground didn't shake. But the camera shook. Even the fence didn't shake, but the camera shook. Like a spirit had kind of pushed it a little bit, like, okay, don't film us, or what is this thing? Again, a very old cemetery. Now, that spirit probably was just recently deceased. And then, of course, this was in front of a, I don't want to say mortuary, but mausoleum. That's what I'm thinking of. With a crematory in the back of it. So I believe this spirit was just recently deceased, but he was an older spirit and he had never seen a digital camera. And that's what I believe happened. But he wanted to know what it was or didn't want to be filmed. Of course, I never had a conversation with that spirit, so I don't know. But yeah, cemeteries, the spirits are not going to hang out there. So don't think just because you die, you're not going to hang out at the cemetery. You're going to want to be with loved ones and everything like that. Again, do not trespass. If you want to get into the field, find a reputable team that will let you tag along and do things the right way. Again, don't trespass, don't damage property, anything like that. Let's see if I can find another question. Like I said, the phone lines are open, 951-223-5055, or by Skype at Paranormal Phil. I got time for a couple calls before we go off the air for the night. So if you got a story, experience, or a question about the paranormal, feel free to call in, share your stories and experiences, or even a question. I'm trying to find another question. Now, okay, here's a good question. Here is a good question. And I'm going to elaborate a little more on it, but it says, how do spirits see without eyeballs? And they, believe it or not, they do have eyes. In a sense. Let's put it that way. In a sense, they do have eyes. They do have ears. But the way they don't have vocal cords. They don't have lungs. So how do the spirits talk to us? Especially through a digital recorder or a phone or something like that. Well, I'm sure one of these days people are going to find out that answer. But my opinion, they're manipulating the not the magnetic field, but the energy put off by the device to use that device to speak to us. How do they see? Again, through the energy. They're using the energy and the like at the Omen House in Benedict Canyon, there's a high geomagnetic field. They're using that energy to where they can see, they can communicate. Sometimes they'll use people's energies. I've had spirits use my energy to communicate and everything like that. So they use that energy. Now, like I said, I believe in March, I think it is, I have a guest that can tell us all about what it's like on the other side. Again, I don't know if this person's telling the truth or not. I did not do a reading on this person because I do this show to give listeners different points of views from different guests. And it's up to you, the listeners, to make up your mind whether you want to believe that guest or even myself. If you don't want to believe me, that's fine. I'm not here to win a popularity contest, but I will tell you the truth. I promise you that. And if I cannot tell the truth, or I don't know an answer or anything like that, I will tell you. I'm pretty straightforward. So I'm not going to lie to you. Like I said, phone lines are open. We got 10 minutes left in the show if you want to call. I got time for one quick phone call if you want to call in, share your stories, experience, or question. Feel free to call in. The numbers to call in are by Skype at Paranormal Phil, or by phone at 951-223-5055. Once again, phone lines are open. Now, let's see. Or if you want to pop in the chat. Every Friday night I do these open lines. And it's a chance for you. I know Friday nights are a tough night because a lot of people might be out partying. They don't want to be at home, especially at this hour. They want to be out at the bars drinking, having fun, partying with people and stuff like that. I get that. I wouldn't mind doing it on a Friday night. But I'm here doing this because I'm here doing this to help people understand about the paranormal or answer questions that they might have of something else. So again, every Friday night we have open lines where you, the listeners, can call in, share your stories, experiences, or questions. Like I said, it don't have to be about the paranormal. It can be about anything. Let's see if we can get one more question. Again, I'm being quiet, but this time it's not because of a spirit talking to me. It's because I'm looking for just the right question to answer. Okay, here's a question. Are ghosts proof of existence beyond death? Well, yes. Like I said, everybody has a different belief system. With me, it's a higher plane of existence and a lower plane of existence. Now, that can be construed as like heaven and hell. If you are of the Christian faith, if you're Buddhist, you believe in enlightenment and stuff like that. But our body is just a vessel to carry our spirits. So that spirit lives on. And whether you believe it or not, and it's up to you to believe it or not, yes, we do come back in another body. To a certain extent. What I believe is once we've hit perfection, then we tend to stay on that spirit realm as a guide. Now, this is just my opinion. And I believe, since I've done past life regression, if you might be wondering what that is, I'll actually do a show on that. Not this Tuesday night, but the following Tuesday, I might do a show on past life regression. On Ask Paranormal Phil. But I've done a past life regression session, and I am, or my spirit, I should say, not me. Do I look 600 years old? But my my spirit is over 600 years old, and I believe that I've hit that point to where I am on the cusp of enlightenment, if you wish, or hitting that higher plane of existence to where I will be a guide spirit probably after this life. Call it a guardian angel if you wish. But whatever you want to call it, whatever your belief system is, like I said, I believe that I will come back. I will not come back to a physical body after my death. I believe that I have reached that point to where I can become a guide spirit or a guardian angel, whatever you want to believe. So let's get into what we got coming up, because we got 5 minutes left in the show. Next week, Monday night, whole Valentine's theme shows next week. Of course, February 12th, Monday night, 9 p.m. Pacific, right here on Spreaker, YouTube, and TuneIn. And I'm going to try and add some more sites where the show will be played as soon as I can. But we have a dating and relationship expert on the show, Derek Hart, as we talk about understanding men, dating and relationship, a course for women. And he teaches a course for women how men think. And if you want to check out his website, go on to talkinthenight.weebly.com, click on the radio show tab, and go to guest of the show, and scroll down. You'll find Derek Hart there, and you can find all about his stuff. But we'll get into that on Monday night. Tuesday night, we're going to get into on Ask Paranormal Phil, which is a Facebook Live show on the Talk on the Night Facebook page. We're going to get into relationships and the paranormal. Couples that love to do ghost hunting, UFO sightings, search for Bigfoot together, or people that want to meet other like-minded people. We're going to get into that on Tuesday night on Ask Paranormal Phil. Wednesday night, I do not have a show planned at this time because I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm still single, but I do not have plans for a show Wednesday night as it stands. That might change, but at this point, I don't have plans for a show because other people might actually be out. Other couples might actually be out doing something too, so I don't want to do a show possibly on Wednesday night. I will keep you informed on the Talk of the Night Facebook page and the show's website whether I do or not. And then of course next Friday night is Open Lines again, where you can call in, share your stories, experiences, or questions. And it's going to be a special Valentine's Day Open Lines. And I want to hear your love questions on that one, or your love stories on that Open Lines. So we got a whole week of Valentine's special shows for you next week. So be sure to tune in every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday nights at 9 p.m. Pacific right here. Sorry. And every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Pacific on the Talking the Night Facebook page. Also, be sure to, if you want to get tickets for the tour to the Omen House and this meet and greet, go to the event page on Talking the Night on Facebook. If you're listening, share the event, let other people know about it, and get your tickets before they sell out. So until Monday night, I shall see you on the dark side. Good night from Talking the Night.